The mesh warp can be used to create all kinds of wonderful sculptured designs in Affinity Photo with any shape, image, type, etc. You can start with anything. I'm just going to go with a donut tool. So create a donut. It's filled with a gradient. You can fill it with anything. It doesn't have to be a gradient. Just nice to fill it with a nice colourful design. So use swatches panel and just add a swatch. Also, with that, you can then drag there. So I'm just going to make the hole fairly small, but it's still live. I can now add layer, a new live filter layer, distort and mesh warp. Now you see the bounding box? It's become a mesh warp. And I can just drag that out, distort it that way, but also what I can do, I can go in the center as well. So double click, adds this point or node. And I can then distort those and I can drag it out beyond. Now you can see sometimes it's not great when it goes too far. You can push it out. You will see sometimes a bit of degrading. But you can see, just click there, add some more, just drag, and you can select multiple points, just drag that out, and so on. You can create literally thousands of designs using this approach. But also what you can do, you can still go back to the donut, it's still live. So the donut tool, select donut tool, you can see donut there, and you can then modify that. And as you do that, you can see the design changes. Now I'm not going to particularly apply it, I just wanted to show you, you can continue to modify it. You can also resize it, squeeze that, rotate it, and as you do that, you can see the design there. But I'm going to convert it to a curve. So with that selected, convert to curves, you can now manipulate the nodes. There's the node tool, so node tool, and you can just distort it that way. And again, you can see it change as you modify it. Click that one, and that will distort that. Whole range of different designs can be created that way. Also, still mesh warp, double click here in the layers panel, and you can still see your mesh warp. So you can add some more points or nodes and click out and drag out and modify that. But also what you can do is you can apply effects, filters to the curves. As soon as you do that, it will be turned into a pixel layer. Now, I would not recommend applying it now. If you go and apply a filter now, it all becomes a pixel layer. Don't want that. What I want to do is I want to select this mesh warp and I just want to drag it above for now. So just keep it there above. You've still got distortion, but now I can go to the curve and I can go here and go to filters, distort, and I'm going to use deform. You could use any of these others, displace. Displace is really good. Any of these. But I'm just going to go deform. And I'm going to use similarity. I prefer that one. So add some pins. And I can then distort this. And you can see as I distort it, the colours change. And you get this sculptured effect. Now, of course, it depends on the gradient you've used. You can use different gradients, combinations of different paths. And you can see you can distort it all kinds of ways. Sometimes more effective than others. Now, one thing to avoid going over the edge. If you go over the edge of the document, you might force it to, you'll suddenly notice that you end up getting a straight line. And I'm just going to bring that in so you can see more of the colours. And click apply. But now, the mesh warp, I just want to drag back again. So I just drag it back. Now I can drag it like this onto there. Or I can drag it onto this. And they are different. Be aware of that. So I just want to drag it onto the thumbnail there, and now I've got this mesh warp. And again, click there, double click, and you can still see this design, and you can still continue to modify it. And you can drag this out, we'll go that way. Again, like I say, if you just push it too far, you will notice it starts looking a bit. Now, a really good way around that, go to the pixel layer. Again, you might want to avoid, let's just try it. Go to there, pixel, go to filters, hopefully it will not do it. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. So Gaussian blur, and you can see now the blur. No, this time it doesn't convert it, which is good. It knows it's a pixel layer already, so it doesn't do any more conversion. And you can apply a blur, and that gets rid of a bit of the degradation, I should say. Anyway, once you've got that, again, go back to the mesh warp and tweak this. And you can then create even more sculpture designs simply by dragging this out, warping it in different ways.